Melanie unblocked Jace's number and called him to say that she was sorry about the way she acted towards him for the past couple of weeks. She wanted to make it up to him by coming over to his house to talk. Jace offers some scotch for Melanie to drink, but knowing that Jace might drug her that way, she politely declined. Melanie tells Jace that she finally came to her senses and realized what a cheating piece of scum her fiancé was, and she finally realized that she wants to be with Jace. Jace doesn't quite believe her 100% and tells her that the police visited him earlier today. Melanie pretended to act surprised at this news. Melanie then asks for directions to the bathroom and excuses herself. Melanie finds herself inside Jace's room, where all the pictures of her are back up on the bulletin board. She then sees more photos in a drawer along with a couple of burner phones. The computer was also open to a website for escorts where Jace found Esma. Jace walks into the room and tells Melanie that he wasn't ready to show his room to her yet. Melanie tries to make a run for it, but Jace grabs her and hits her head against a wall. Melanie wakes up hours later tied to a chair in the dining table. There is a bowl of soup in front of her, and Jace was sitting at the other end of the table. Jace tells Melanie that they are finally having their first dinner date. Melanie calls Jace crazy and demands he let her go. Jace tells her that he can't allow that to happen. He then confesses to setting up Kyle as a cheater, as he clearly did not love Melanie as much as he claimed he did, and also confessed to attacking Taylor. He didn't want to, but she was going to stop him and Melanie from being together. Jace also left the note on Melanie's car at the parking garage. Melanie calls Jace delusional and accuses him of killing Alec. Jace said that he would never hurt anyone if they didn't force him to. In other words, he swears he didn't do it. Jace then notices that Melanie hasn't eaten her soup yet and goes up to feed it to her. It turned out that Melanie had untied herself, and she throws the hot, scorching soup in Jace's face and runs outside to the backyard. Jace catches up to Melanie, who is armed with a shovel. The two then have a struggle which ended with Jace throwing the shovel away from Melanie. Jace then attempts to strangle Melanie to death, stating that all he ever wanted to do was to love her. Melanie had a knife in her pocket the whole time and uses it to stab Jace in the stomach. Jace stumbles back until he falls into the pool behind him. Melanie calls the cops using the nearby landline phone. The police and an ambulance arrive, and Jace is taken away in a stretcher. He survived the stabbing. Melanie tells Detective Burrows that Jace confessed to setting up Kyle as a cheater and attacking Taylor, but not Alec's murder. Melanie thinks that he might be telling the truth, but Burrows doesn't think so. Sometimes criminals deny certain things. Burrows also had some news regarding Coach Ryan. The cops now have reason to believe that he didn't commit suicide. He might have been murdered due to there being tiny traces of an unknown chemical in his system. Also, the signature on the note that Coach Ryan left did not match his handwriting. It was forged. All that mattered now was that Alec and Ryan's killer was brought to justice. Jace will be going away for a long time, and he won't hurt anybody else anymore. The following day, Charlie shows up at the gym to apologize to Melanie for making a huge deal out of the situation with the machine. She knew that it wasn't her fault now that we know the real perpetrator. But it still didn't make sense to Melanie. If Jace loved practicing at the basketball court, then why would he tamper with the equipment so that someone could get seriously injured and her business would be at risk of going bankrupt? Charlie says she'll be more than happy to book more classes with her and goes to her car.